How's it going? Welcome back to another tutorial video. And in today's video, we're going to be making a table. A nice table. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is open the palette. And then we're going to go to our settings. And make sure uniform shapes is turned on. And then make sure your tube size is at 8 centimeters. Your tube height ratio is at 100. Tube faucets is at 10. And smooth tubes is off. Alright. Now, first thing we're going to do with building it is go to tube. It should look like something like this. And also for your color, if you want to change your material, I'm just going to do wood floor for right now. And then for color, I'm just doing like a dark brown. So first thing we're going to do over here is we're going to make the stem of it. So make it as straight as possible like this. Do something like that, make sure it's straight. Just like that. Perfect. And then we're all done with that. And if you want to, you can also make it skinnier as well. So you can do like something like this. Like that. We'll start with the skinnier one first. Okay. So first we have this table right here. What we can do is now get our tube again, but go to settings, tube size 25. So now that we have a bigger table. And also make sure to let it go so it's two separate parts so it won't connect. Next thing we'll do is add the second part. Draw this tube as thick as you want. I'm just going to do it not super thick, just like this. So now we have like a tiny little table part right here. And I'm also going to move this part to the middle and the center of this one if you want to. You can also bring this down to check where the center is and move it in center as good as you can. And then move that back up. So now we have a basis of our table. Now, what we can also do to make it better is we can clone this right here, and then we can recolor this to another color. I'm going to do a carpet with red, just like this, like that, and then I'm going to scale it down a little bit, and then what I'll do is move it down to the table, just like that, and I'll try to center it too as good as I can, just like that. And now we have like a little carpet thing for our table, as like a cloth, just like this. Or you could also move this a little more down so it fits a little bit better, just like that. Perfect, just like that. Now, if we want to add some detail down here, what we can do is open our palette, go back to our tube, and go back to our settings. What we'll do is we'll go to 4 centimeters for our tube size, and then that should be it for settings. And then we'll go back to our normal color as we had for our table so it doesn't look mixed matched. And we can add a little design down here with tube as we can draw a little bit like this. And maybe a little bit up here, just like that. Add a little design to our table. If you're wondering on how to make it where you start big and then go small, basically all you do is you start off holding the trigger as hard as you can, like normal, and then letting go of the trigger, not letting go fully, but having it go looser, so then it goes smaller like that. So then you can make something like that. But now that we have our thing here, what we can do is clone it to the other side, then rotate just like that. And also if we want to make sure it's in the middle, so we can just do like that, boom, and then make sure this one's in the middle too, so it's even, just like that. There we go. And if we want to also, we can just add other designs, make it more. We can clone it and then scale this down, and then this could be like the bottom of our table. Just like that. Like that. There you go. There's like a basis of a table for like that. Also, what we can do is we can build a longer table. We'll get our tube again. We can make it skinny. So then first, we grab this, like our table. Make sure it's straight with the tube. Okay. Next thing we'll do is clone this leg over to here. Now move it as long as you want the table. But then we'll select this one, and then we'll click clone, so then it clones both of them. Then we'll move it. We'll make it about that big. There we go. Now what we can do is grab a cube, and also make sure you go to settings when you get a cube and turn off uniform shapes. Now what we can do is grab our cube, go there, manipulate it down to over here. just like that. And then maybe you can have it go a little over the edge like that. Boom. Maybe drop it down a little bit. And there's a little basic area right there. Then what we can do is we can clone this like we did with that one. And we can bring that in a little bit. And we can make it just like a tablecloth like that one. So boom it like that. And then bring it down. And then what we can do is recolor it the same red material like we'd like. Something like that. And then if you want to also, we can clone these legs. Rotate them. And then what we can do is manipulate it to over here. Just like that. And we'll move this one over to here. Boom. Make sure it's kind of straight. You don't want it to be too crooked. Move it down to over there. Perfect. And then what we can do, so move that over there. All right, perfect. And then what we can do with that is clone this side over to here. Like that. Boom. And there you go. There's like another basic table that you have right there. And also, if you want to add more designs, you can also add more things down there. You can add little designs up here. Anything, honestly. But these are just two basic table designs that you can use for any game, a restaurant, a bar, any hangout map. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed and subscribe.